welcome to Game Brain, a board game podcast about our gaming group. We are coming to you live from Dallas, Texas at Bgg.Con 2025. Woo! This is not just your normal podcast. We are in a large convention center room at the Hyatt Regency. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
In Dallas. We are here. I am not alone. I am your host, Matthew Robinson, but joining me today, pretty much the entire Game Brain crew.
I'm Trey. Hi.
I'm Tom. I haven't been around for a while, but good to see you guys.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Jordan.
And we have been here since, well, Jordan and I got here on Wednesday afternoon.
Wednesday. Yeah.
We have not seen the sun nor the sky since then. It is now Sunday night,
Yeah.
Saturday night, sorry.
That is not a joke.
That's literally not a joke.
Not gone outside.
We might as well be on a cruise or in a submarine. But we have been here since Wednesday night. We have played a lot of games. Ben got here Thursday afternoon.
I got here Thursday afternoon. I was the late comer to the con because I had to work, so I got here Thursday afternoon.
Yeah.
I've been here ever since, amazingly.
Tom and Trey got here as well, and Jordan, we all got here together
Wednesday
on Wednesday
morning or early afternoon.
We've been playing pretty much constant, non-stop games. Tom, they've gone out to dinner.
We went out to dinner. We did karaoke. We went to a Liverpool match. So we live full and varied lives. We weren't just
Ben,
here.
you have been on a whirlwind tour. Can you tell us about your con-to-con jumping?
So I've never been to a con, properly to a con, ever in my
board game
life.
con.
Any con.
Any con?
Oh, any con.
I've never gone to any con. I will make it asterisk. In LA, I've been to Strategicon.
We met you there.
Yeah, but I feel like that's like, low. If you just like go to the hotel by the airport for 4 hours, it's not like going to a con.
Right.
To me, going to a con is you pack bags, you buy tickets, you're dedicating yourself there.
You have to wear a badge constantly.
You have to wear a badge. Back in April, I did crash a con in DC, but again, I felt like I was crashing. I was only there for a few hours. This is my first time where, like, I've never, ever been like, I'm getting there, I'm doing a whole weekend. I've never done a con of any type. I went to my first con last weekend, which was BravoCon, and very different con than Bgg.Con, I'm going to say right now. Very different aesthetic look. Yeah, it's just it's just a different style. It has a little bit more money in it, you know. But then this one, my second con back to back. I'd never gone to any, and then with the span of 1 week, I've gone to 2 cons. So
And one of those cons, you were a little bit of a big deal at.
BGcon. Oh my God! Thank you so much.
You have been recognized quite a bit for table scraps while you've been
I
here.
did get some recognition,
Yeah.
but yeah, BravoCon was its own crazy ride. It was definitely like I stepped into another world, an alternate reality where I was a celebrity and I was like stopped and people asked me for photos every 3 feet, which was awesome.
Oh, that's cool.
But then I stepped out of Cinderella, had to go back to the fireplace and sweep up some ashes. So here I am, everyone.
Trey, this is, so Jordan and I and Ben, this is our first Bgg.Con. Ben's first con.
First board game.
Technically second convention ever.
Yeah, second convention
but-
ever.
But Trey, you've been to quite a few Bgg.Cons. Can you tell people who may not know what makes Bgg.Con different from Gen Con, from Essen, what makes it special, why you like it? Give us the skinny on Bgg.Con.
Yeah, I think it's more almost like a singularity of purpose because it's just board games. They do have a few scheduled events, but like if I go to Gen Con, I have a number of events scheduled, like ticketed events. I've planned out my schedule Friday, Saturday, Sunday of events to go to. That's
Including
really
our own events.
Yeah, right. But that's not what you do here. This is just giant cavernous rooms, of which this is maybe like 3 or 4 about this size here. And everyone here are board gamers, and they've just come to play board games. And there's a nice culture here, I would say, also of meeting strangers to play board games. They have these stands you put up of like teacher needed or player wanted, and that actually works really well. Where kind of you want to play a certain game, you kind of hold it up, and in a few minutes you're going to find people to play. And the library here is incredibly impressive of just the number of titles that they have. So there's no need to pack 22 games in order to bring BGG and make a whole video about it.
And yet, some of us did.
Some of us have never been to a board game con before and don't know what to expect. Yes, I did make a video on Table Scraps of the 16 games I packed But I just had them as options ultimately. But it's always it's a slippery slope because you pack it like this way. I just have an option, so that way if someone's like, I want to play this game, I'm like, oh my god, I wish I'd brought it because they didn't have it in the library. Now I have it. But then of course by a mere dint of packing it, you build an expectation of like, well, now I got to play it. So it's like that whole that mind fuck that happens.
Yeah. And how many of them did you play of the 16 so far?
I played 3.
That's okay.
That's a good batting average.
Not bad.
Yeah, better than I was expecting. Now, one thing I will say, it sort of sounded like I was shading this con by saying that Bgg.Con had more money. What I really was trying to say was that Bgg.Con is a big, lavish, expensive production that's put on by like NBCU. It's like, and there's international press there, TV cameras, and there's celebrities, and evening gowns and things that get filmed for national TV. And it's just such a different vibe. But one thing that I have found...
There are no evening gowns.
Isn't it strange that it's such a different
There's been a few
vibe?
evening gowns.
But-
or evening, like...
Those were not convention goers.
That's right. That's true.
But I think that what actually ties the two cons together, and probably what ties most cons together, is like... in both cons, you have people who are truly passionate about the thing. And so, like, that one's a very Hollywood thing, and there's, like, huge, like, parties and exclusive things. It's like a whole thing. But, like, at the end of the day, the people that are showing up there and the people that are showing up here, you're getting that same vibe of, like, I'm with my people, and, you like this? I like it too. Let's be friends. And that's actually, like, it's your tribe. It's, like, really, really lovely,
This is my tribe.
Yeah. Don't you wish, though, that the Bgg.Con people were your tribe? I mean, that sounds pretty fun.
They seem like they party much harder.
They seem like
sure.
they party much
For sure.
harder.
People here play board games till 4 a.m, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I tell you, I kind of regret my advice because I think when you guys were originally packing, you're saying, I'm going to bring a bunch of games. And I was like, you don't have to bring a bunch of games. The library's so good. I'm really glad you guys brought a bunch of games this time.
90% of what we played are the games that we brought.
Yeah.
We happened.
Things were a little
You
different
brought
this
specifically,
year.
like
yeah.
mostly,
Well, I happened to get a bunch of the Essen releases in the last few weeks, and so I was just like, I'm bringing all of them. But I did check, so Bgg.Con, what they're amazing for is they have an incredible game library. Like, I'm talking... you'd be hard-pressed to find a game they don't have, of just the history of board games. There's thousands, and the room is massive, and there's just shelves everywhere, and it's all alphabetical, beautifully organized. But they also have an amazing collection of new games. Like, these are all because the Essen already happened, and they brought home with them all the hotness.
Right.
And so they've got tables already set up with games that aren't even out yet, games that just came out, or games that are extremely popular still and people are wanting to play. And so you can line up to play those games. And they have a list you can check before you come here. And I did check that list. And I really only brought things that weren't on that list.
Right.
But it's also been really kind of hard to get games of those hot new games because that's why a lot of people are here.
There's one or two copies of
difference.
them.
Yeah, but that is a difference this year. Like, I think Tom could speak to this. They actually changed the location from where it used to be here on this upper floor to the bottom floor, and it actually meant it was like harder to get in there. It was kind of a poorly lit space.
Yeah.
I've played no games in the hot games section this year. Some of it was I didn't really come in with one that like I felt like I had to play. There's the Swamp game, but,
Swamp.
like other than that was like the only one that was really on my list. The Swamp game.
Fey's Swamp.
You know, the Swamp game.
Yeah.
I would say that I believe the previous room was not well ventilated, so after day 2, it had its own special je ne sais quoi that when you walk in there, you get kind of punched in the face with it. Also, there were only about maybe 18, 20 tables, and now there are 32 tables counted in the hot games room, which is 32 tables. So it's good. They're expanding that. They realized that over time, when we first did the hot games room, we could sit down at almost anything, but 3 years after doing that, we would go and do the hot games room, and people would be lined up at 8 a.m. when it opens.
I also want to say, like, one of the virtues of bringing games to the con is, and one of the reasons why I actually brought some random games, is because I just have some strange-ass games that I honestly don't think that any of you guys would like. And
okay.
No, I'm being totally honest. You guys might like it, you might enjoy trying them, but, like, I just don't think you'd like the games, and I'm like, it makes me anxious to table them because I'm gonna sit there with host anxiety, and what's good about this is actually it's like you have a whole con and you can find people who they might appeal to, and this is not like dissing on anyone or anything. It's just like we all know each other's tastes, and like we all, you want to, part of playing games is you also want to curate some games for the people that you're with. And so one of the reasons why I also brought games is because I was like, maybe I can get this weird game that I generally have a hard time tabling. Maybe I can find some people who want to play it. So I think that's actually another really good part about a con.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you dissed Bgg.Con and our gaming group in particular.
He made the controversial statement that the multinational corporation NBC might have a tad more money than Bgg.Com.
Just slightly more production.
Slightly, just a little more, just spread around. So
I'm looking for the State Farm activation going on here.
Yes.
So, no, that's not
there is none of the brand management.
They're doing an escape room.
Yes. So we have played a buttload of games since we got here, and we figured this would be a great opportunity to talk through them, what we were loving, what we're having mixed opinions on, what we're off of, and I thought we could all just go around the horn and talk about a game experience we've had. I made a little list of all the games that we played so far. We sparked some interest, we could talk about them. I will also mention, I forgot to say, at some point I'll stop needing to mention this every time, but we are also now a video podcast. You could be watching this on youtube.com, Game Brain Podcast. If you want to see our little happy shining faces. If you see me looking at the camera a lot, it's because I'm just making sure we're all still in frame and looking nice. But that's it. Shall we get into some games we played?
Sure. Let's do it.
Let's just go around the horn. Jordan,
starting with
why
me.
don't you start? It's up to you. Do you want to start with the game you've had the most fun playing, the game you were disappointed by, whatever's just like on your brain the most about a game you played this con?
I am going to mention Fea's Swamp because I think that's the game that was most exciting coming into the con. And it was really fun. So it's from the designers of Terra Mystica. I don't have their names on my phone list
right now. That's what I'm looking up right now, my friend.
And it is actually a re-implementation of an older game design. And who played it? We played it with Mike and Brian, right?
Yes, with Mike and Brian.
So you
Helga Ostertag and Ansem Ostertag.
Right. So you three didn't get to really play it, but it's the hardest game to play at the con. There's only one copy, unlike some of the other games. It's Candace's copy that she mailed in.
It's probably the only copy in America.
You know what's so funny is that I went to Candace's house, I don't know, like 4 weeks ago, and we were going to play it, and then we wound up playing. We were like, you know what, let's play a different. We played some random ass game.
Oh, really?
And I had no idea that it was like this crazy, hot, exclusive, only copy in America game.
That's so funny that you ended up not playing it.
Yeah, we'll do something else.
Oh, yeah. I'm curious to hear what Candace thinks of it. Has she played it? Well, we'll see. Anyway.
Tell us about it. Give us the skinny on what Fea's Swamp is as a board game.
What I like about it is you're building buildings on a swamp that starts as all water, except for like a few little pockets of islands. You're building buildings on them. And you're also shortening and reducing the space that your boats, which build the buildings and take all of your actions, can move around in.
And it is a map game for the most part, where you're building the map, but also Terra Mystica style, everybody is conquering areas in the map.
Right, exactly. But unlike Terra Mystica, all the spaces on the board are as appealing to you as any other space. And that's a theme with Clans of Caledonia we can talk about later. So it feels more competitive a little bit on the board because nothing feels safe, and the spots feel very important. Your buildings are all basically the same, but they unlock different types of income on the track. The fun of it is, I don't know, it's in the competitive map building. It's a good game for that. Yeah. You have to fish. There are certain fishing spots around the board, and only...
It's worker placement.
It's worker placement, right, it's worker placement.
Restricted worker placement.
Right, only a few slots, and some of the spots, like it might have 4 spots to go fishing, and 2 of them cost a lot. They cost very rare resources to go even there at all. And the fishing, like which fish are available each season changes. You know exactly where the fish are, but in season 1, it's just only pink fish are available, and that's 1/3 of the board. So you got to send your boats all the way over there, and that's hard.
There's very light asymmetry. We should say this is the designer of Terra Mystica.
Right.
There is a lot of Terra Mystica's DNA in this.
Sure.
Just in the sense of. Whereas Terra Mystica has extreme asymmetry, this is light asymmetry.
Right.
But impactful.
Right. And it's just a lighter game, too. It's just a more
things like round
game.
bonuses or anything like that? Or
No.
Well, there are like leader cards that you draft kind of like round bonuses, and they tell you how far you can move, how expensive it is for you to build, and they give you a special ability.
Right, so that's actually fascinating.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite things. So at the end of a round in Terra Mystica or Gaia or anything like that, you draft, when you pass, you take a little resource bonus for the round, right?
Or scoring.
Or scoring, or extra shipping. In this, when you pass, you're taking an asymmetric power. like a pretty major asymmetric power that you'll only have for that.
So is there
round.
like a timing thing of when I'm going to do things
Yes.
certain
you
well?
want to stay in
100%
the
to pass. You wanna stay in.
You want to stay in the round long.
And you only
to get
have
the
like
really
2
good
or 3
powers.
workers, but there's a pile of 8 neutral workers, and you can just buy them. They're not cheap, but you can just buy them to stay in, to like keep going.
And Terra Mystica style, you're pulling off your buildings, aka off the board, to put there, and as you build them, then your income grows,
Right.
And you get more power from that way. So there's a lot of it in there. So tell me, what were you thinking about it going into it? How excited were you? Did it match those expectations? Meet them?
Yeah,
Fail to?
I didn't really know anything about it except that it was the hot game, and then I read the rules before we played, and I was thinking it would be kind of fine, like medium weight. I liked it a little bit more than I thought I would. I'm excited to play it some more. I feel like it's not as deep as Terra Mystica, and there's maybe not as much asymmetry to explore. But for like a lighter, like a more medium weight game, I think it's really fun.
It's not Age of Innovation level of complexity.
I'm not going to play it up. Yeah. It's not Age of Innovation level of complexity, and it's not as appealing to me as, Build-A-Bear factions. Like, that's more exciting for long-term replayability.
So,
But still really cool.
We played it together. I
did.
went in not enthused, just thinking like, oh, it's 15 years old. It was what he did before Terra Mystica. It'll have 1 or 2 cool little things, but it's going to feel a little dated.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's my favorite thing I've played at this convention so far.
Okay, nice.
So I've been in this hobby for like 15 years. This does feel like a 10 to 15-year-old game. In the best way, though. It just reminded me what I miss. It feels like El Grande. It feels like Hansa Teutonica. It feels like these old elbowy, almost abstract Euros with an economic resource engine.
You're fighting over stuff.
But you're
in the
fighting.
center,
There's very much this spatial abstract game you're playing,
Right.
which feels very much like Hansa, which feels where you're trying to get these lines going. You're trying to make sure you're not getting blocked out or you can get through. But you're also doing worker placement, very classic restrictive worker placement.
Yeah.
All those things just felt like, oh, this is what I remember. Like, they don't really make games like this anymore, and they literally don't. They didn't make this, but as you were telling me, they came in and they did a modernization to it. They added some new things, and it does feel like a throwback to these great sort of more elbowy throwing, restrictive, more punishing, abstract Euros from 10, 15 years ago, but with a new modern sheen on it, which is awesome.
Right.
I can't really think of another game that does that.
It is very elbowy.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm excited to play it some more. The huge variability in it is those leader powers. There's only 7 that you play with every game. I think there's 12 or 15 in the box. So those will change the game a lot, which ones come in.
Really exciting.
Yeah.
Ben,
Wow, that
we're on the horn.
sounds pretty cool.
I think you'll love it.
Well, God, there's games to choose from. I'm just going to choose Forestry because we played several games, but I'm going to choose something from the hotness, because I think that's what people are really here to hear about.
Yep.
Forestry, I had heard it's excellent. I heard it's some people's game of the year.
Designers.
Oh, the designers, as we all know, are Mikhail Pechel and Michael Reznchik, or some variation of those pronunciations.
Yep.
Solo is
Capstone
Thomas
Games.
Hollick. Capstone Games.
Good batting average, Capstone.
So, Forestry, the theme is Forestry. Where it's a forest, 3 forests, and we're going in there and we're chopping down trees. Trees are falling down by themselves. You are reforesting. You're building things with the wood. You're treating the wood. You're building houses in the forest. You're building houses on the river. You're doing all sorts of Euro-y things. You got kind of like this excavator that goes around. So it's a fascinating game with a lot of things going on that I really enjoyed for the first half. And then I started to get kind of bored. It's one of those games where you appreciate it more than you enjoy it. For me, in the first play, I think it's doing actually awesome things. I think there's a lot of clever elements there where you have like sort of a certain amount of action points you can use on your turn to do various things.
Which
and
you
combo.
split. You have like a certain number of action points, and you split this between your harvester that's on your kind of Catan-looking map.
Yeah.
And then you have, what's the name of the piece on the outside
Your
of the map?
forestry manager.
Your
Manager who is kind
There's
of like
no
on
sawmill manager.
But they're on like this rondel of action spaces
Yeah.
on the outside where you actually need to kind of move sometimes to get the things.
Yeah,
that
it's not
you
really a
need.
rondel, but yeah.
It's not okay. I'm sorry. It's not a rondel,
It's
but
like
you do have to split all the time. You have a certain number of action points, and that's one of the kind of more interesting decisions of like, what am I actually doing this turn? There's times where my turns where my forester does 0, on its turn, and then other times where I'm exclusively
I actually did not find that to be an interesting thing. I think that's an artificial element. It's still ultimately action points and actions. So whether you do them here or there, you're just actions to me.
Yeah, and they don't really coordinate.
Yeah, and so but it wasn't like if your manager is in the same part of the board as your thing, nothing happens. So it's not like trying to align them was
right. Sure.
And that's not even like a negative.
I did assume that when I first started playing, it's like, my manager's
pitched it like that,
in light green, and like, my harvester's in light green. It's like, no, that doesn't matter.
And like, I don't want. That's not even a negative. It's not like, oh my god, like it's artificial. It's just to me, it's like, it's just more actions you can take. But that being said, because it's not like you have a budget of, I've got 3 actions I can take with this machine and 2 with the person.
No.
It just says that the person can take certain actions and the machine can do certain actions, but you still have the same number of actions. This is so in the weeds it doesn't even matter. I'm mad at myself. The point is, the game is actually doing really awesome things, and I can see why so many people really loved it. And honestly, after the first half, I was like, I'm buying this game. I'm loving it. This is like so far the best game I've played. What happens is that these turns are really long, and it takes a long time. And I got to the point where I actually started to time our turns, our rounds, just because I knew we'd be talking about it.
Yeah.
And the question is, did my turns take longer or less? Were they longer or shorter than this monologue? Not sure. But what I did find was that turns took about 3 to 5 minutes, which not the end of the world in terms of euros compared to some other games like Speakeasy, which we immediately compared it to. The difference is, I found that it was pretty easy for me to map out what I wanted to do in my next turn, and then I was just sitting there for like 10 or 12 minutes. And I say some things, but like with Speakeasy and other games that have AP, I'm thinking about plans. You brought up this great point last night, Jordan, that with Gaia Project, it could be a long time between your turn, but you're thinking several turns ahead of time. So your brain is occupied with so many permutations, whereas here I was just sitting.
You're
so
kind of
really
just thinking about the next turn. The turn after that is too far away.
It just kind of got
Is it that there's too many moving parts that you really can't plan out what the next turn will be because the board is going to change?
It's because your current turn is 7 actions, and your next turn is 7 actions, and the turn after that's another 7. So it's like that's too many to really be thinking about all at once.
You know, some people complain about micro turns, that they don't like micro turns.
I love micro turns.
This is a case.
This will make you love micro turns.
This is a case where it's like you're just like sitting around for a long time, and so as cool as the design is for me, I think the execution like made me say, I'm glad I tried it. Maybe I'll try it one more time, but like it's a pass for me, dog.
Okay.
Yeah, just to give a little more background, it's like you take 9 turns over the course of the game. So you take 9 3 to 5 minute turns. That's kind of.
And
But
they
each
get
turn
longer.
is a
And
number
they get
of
longer.
actions.
They get almost exponentially longer.
Yeah.
Like that's why I also. So I played it twice now in this con. First time I played it, great.
We all had a great time. It was the 3 of us.
It was the first big game we played.
Yeah.
At the con.
We were jazzed to be
played
here.
It Wednesday night. Boom, bam. We're in
Yeah.
it. This is great.
Yeah.
And I thought it was great. It wasn't like my mind wasn't blown. I wasn't buzzing. It wasn't like I couldn't stop thinking about it.
Sure.
But I was like super solid Euro. Excited to try the different asymmetric powers. Excited to explore some different strategies. Super fun.
I feel like from... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, please, jump in.
No, I feel like from somewhere around 2008 to 2015, action chaining was a hot thing, right? Where we wanted to have these
Combo
things
City.
where we could suddenly turn one very limited action set into this happens and that triggers this and that triggers this and that triggers this.
Right.
But I think one of the reasons it fell out of favor is exactly what you're talking about, which is that
I'm not sure it is out of favor.
Speakeasy is kind of in that space, but Speakeasy has so much going on that like you kind of appreciate the maximalism of what's happening there.
there is a point at which it does turn into an AP nightmare, and it can turn into turns that go on for a very, very long period of time, and that the pace of play slows down to a crawl, and that could be a negative experience, like Ben, that clearly was for you.
Yeah, and it's like it's weird to me because honestly, the downtime in Speakeasy is worse, and because of the turn order situation, Speakeasy, just trust me on this one. If you don't know, that because of the turn order situation, you could really be sitting out for 45 minutes, 30 minutes to 40 minutes. It could be crazy like that, and yet. It was just not an issue for me with Speakeasy because I was so engaged with what was going on. It's such a deep, rich game that I'm like fascinated, and I'm constantly running different scenarios. I mean, sometimes you're like, okay, it's time to hurry up, let's get it going. But like, it's weird that with Forestry, with much less downtime, the downtime just felt more excruciating for me. I don't know, maybe it's because it was late at night.
Just to give like a contrary opinion, oh my god, in Speakeasy when you're waiting 45 minutes for your turn, it's excruciating.
Yeah.
And I love that game, but it is excruciating.
How else are you going to read your Russian novels?
I mean...
I do think you just love Speakeasy.
Yeah, I think you just really love
and so
Speakeasy.
the length of it, like the juice is worth the squeeze for you. And I'm not sure.
That's what I'm
Sitting out
that's
for
what I'm-
45
no, but
minutes
that's
of a
what I'm
3-hour game is too much.
But that's what I'm
right?
saying.
Like,
Yeah.
I love the game because it has so much in it. So it's like there's stuff for me to like love, so that way I can look past some of its flaws.
We also started a 3-hour game that needed a teach at 11:30 at night,
We did.
which is a wild choice for old people.
It wasn't 3 hours.
What?
it was 2 hours.
Oh, well, but I started at 11, expecting 3.
Right.
And so
Felt like
and
3.
also I had been gaming since 9 in the morning, nonstop.
you hit a little bit of a wall
So
while
I was,
playing it, yeah.
but so it probably felt longer than it normally would have.
Yeah.
But
I'm
this
looking forward
me-
to playing it.
Yeah,
It's
and
good.
I would,
It's
and I would,
legitimately a good
I
game.
will play it again. I'm happy. I mean, I own it. I'm happy to play it again.
Yeah.
But it did feel like a classic mommy, look at me, dive into the pool game, where somebody is like, and literally at one point you were excited to share your turn, and I wanted to care, but I couldn't have cared less. Trey.
I don't care about
In
Trey's
fact,
turn.
you monologuing your
It's
turn
offensive.
was just annoying me because it was making it go longer, and I just wanted your dumb turn to
Also,
be
wanted
one-
you to
another-
shut up. So
Another
much.
thing that I really want to point out about it was, it's when someone's doing their turn, it's quiet at the table.
Yeah.
So like,
It's like a library.
it's like it doesn't really encourage table talk. Like I understand it's not going to be a heavily interactive game, and that's okay. But I also like there are games that are Euros that are even multiplayer solitaire that encourage table talk where you sort of want to just like chatter and go back and forth and banter.
Sure.
And like there just wasn't, even when we played Clans of Caledonia, maybe we'll talk about it. There's even when that's happening, there's still banter of like, oh, you went there, oh god, oh my god, I'm dying, I'm crushing. That was mainly me, I'm dying. But like, there's with Forestry, it was like no one was inspired to say anything. That may be because it was
Yeah.
late at night.
That could
but
be
it felt
also.
quiet.
Could
It
be.
felt quiet.
Yeah.
We actually
Then again,
were-
if Trey was saying things and Matt was telling him to shut up, maybe
Yeah, that's
maybe the
My
atmosphere
negative
wasn't
sour
really
plus
as
5.
conducive as one might want.
Yeah.
we were trying to move really quickly.
We were.
And okay, a little bit of a sideline here. That game, we were doing the things that we expect from other players, which is this is a really complex. There's a lot of stuff going on. We're going to have 5 or 6 actions, and then there's other little free ones that are going in. It's necessary to narrate your
100%.
turn. I need to explain what I'm doing. I'm now paying these costs so that I can do this. And
Because
sometimes
otherwise
it's
it just looks
how'd
like
you get that? And like,
absurd
oh, it's
nonsense.
because of this bonus over here.
Sure.
Right.
And you're like, and sometimes it's like, well, but you don't have that thing. And like, oh,
Maybe
you're
if
right.
you-
I'm not playing the game correctly.
Maybe a few less times of saying, watch this!
Yeah, we could thick text and accent.
In all seriousness, no, like when we have friends that don't do that,
Yeah.
it's a problem in the more complex
No,
games because
nobody was suffering from AP in this game, and it was interminably long.
You're right.
But we
I
finished
almost
with
think
two
it
hours.
It wasn't actually long. It just felt
It
long,
felt
and it's because we were
long.
tired. I think it's because we were
I know,
We were
tired.
tired, and like, you know,
It's
maybe it was
offensive
me.
when
I
I
was
win a
listen.
game,
I'm
I
the
know.
X Factor. You guys had a great time, and then I
Just
came along,
waited
and I was
to
a dark
crush
cloud. But I do think it's like, I actually do think it's like legitimately a very good game.
I agree.
But it just somehow, I just found it like it's sort of like the wind came out of its sails midway through. I mean, I think we were all having fun, and it just sort of
It's a great
slowly
theme.
deflated for me.
Like
Yeah.
I think
The theme
the
is
theme is
wonderful.
actually really
cool.
great. The things you're doing make sense.
We are worried that one of there's like a few asymmetric faction boards you can play asymmetric. We're
They don't
worried
feel
that there's the same
Yeah.
one won both games, and by a good margin.
Yeah.
And also,
Something
there's
that's
there's
explained
might
no
win.
board asymmetry.
Yeah.
So it's like, or no board random setup, excuse me. So there's no variability except which board you start with.
It might be one of the rare games that's better without asymmetrical faction.
It might be.
We do probably have to move on because we
Yep.
have a limited time for this. So
Tommy Dean, what do
I'm
you
going
wanna
to jump
talk
in.
about?
What I want to talk about is the expansion that I played this weekend, in the Industria expansion for Clans of Caledonia. It's a
Juma
game-
Al-Juju.
Juma Al-Juju. We met him.
At Essen.
It was at Essen. The year that game came out was our 1 year of our Essen trip for Trey,
we
Matt,
hated
and
it.
me.
Garbage
We
game.
hated the game. We hated the country.
Yeah. One of our
we hated the
favorite-
continent.
One of our most played games of all time,
100%.
and in my opinion, an absolute Euro
10 out of
staple.
10, no
Yeah.
question about it. No, and the fact that it came out the same year as Terra Mystica and has very Terra Mystica-like elements to some degree.
Gaia Project. Came out the same
Gaia
year as
Project, beg pardon. Yes, Gaia Project,
essence.
but has a lot of the same aspects as those games. Made it fly maybe a little bit more under the radar than we'd want to have.
People had to pick, it felt like.
Yeah, they really did, and it is. No, they didn't. I will say this, though, when you play a lot of games of Clans of Caledonia, you start to come to the realization that it's all about fulfilling those contracts. We are making these goods, we're developing these goods, and what do you do with those goods? You sell them as contracts, and that's where the most of the points in the game come from.
Which couldn't be more different than Terra Mystica or Gaia Project.
Correct. So when you come out with an expansion, what I want to see is an expansion that recognizes and correctly diagnoses a great game that has this one thing that could be better about it.
And the thing that could be better is too focused on contracts.
I think so.
There's no zig to that zag.
no zig.
Correct.
Everyone must play the contract game or lose.
Okay.
You're putting pieces on the board which score points in and of themselves, and there's a big end game thing about that. But all of those pieces generate something, and what do you do with that something? There was no other answer other than contracts.
And
so
still,
that was largely the
one
game.
of our favorite games ever.
100%.
But
Absolutely.
clearly, like, it's a contract game. And there's one, and like, if you're telling people how to play, the contracts are the game. Don't really think about anything
Everything
else.
is in service of this kind of
The
stuff.
contract is all you should be thinking
The
about.
example I would use for that is Great Western Trail. Great Western Trail came out, oh my God, it's an amazing game. But the more you play it, you realize that the three main options, the cowboy game, the builder game, and the engineer game, were not as balanced, and it's virtually impossible to balance them perfectly in a game like that. But there were strategies that were better than other strategies. And when they came out with Railways of the North, I think it's an amazing expansion. I will play Great Western Trail with that expansion over any of the other iterations that have come out. I still think it's the best version of that game because they found a way to better balance it and to create other options, other things you can do with the exact same mechanics of the game. It doesn't change the game so much that you're not still playing everything you love about it, but you're playing so much more.
Yeah, when I think like perfect expansions, I think Railways and I think Prelude for Terra Mystica.
Prelude, absolutely. I was about to say
Mars. Those are the
Lost
two.
Fleet.
About to say the same
What?
thing.
Lost Fleet.
And Lost Fleet now.
Gaia Project, the Lost Fleet is
Yeah.
also game changer.
Yeah.
You are 100%
Agree.
right. Lost Fleet
Agree.
is in the pantheon of
But by the way,
incredible expansions.
in your comparison with the Great Western Trail, at least Great Western Trail, there
Three.
are three options. Or really, Clans of Caledonia only came down to fulfilling contracts, and it's still a great game. But like, fulfilling contracts is not the most exciting thing you could do in a board game.
Well,
So tell us about
I'd
this
say that
expansion.
I would just say to that I think the Clans of Caledonia was designed to have other ways to score things, right? There's an end-game scoring that has nothing to do with contracts. The different clans have different ways of generating a lot of. There's round scoring. So I think the thought was that there would be a lot of different ways, but it ended up being kind of everyone goes for points. The same way as in Great Western Trail. We're kind of going for the cattle card game to some degree, no matter what, and we're building.
I don't think that's right, but it's okay.
Well, no, but we're building. We are not spending as much time on the engineer track as we are the other two tracks. is what I would
we're
say.
not here to talk about the base game.
Correct. The expansion introduces two more. There are basically two more actions in the game, and those are train actions. There's related to a separate board that you have a train and you can move that train, and all of a sudden every space that you're trying to occupy requires goods to activate that space. So the goods that
Sorta
you're
like
getting
contracts.
yeah, very much. So the goods that you're getting in the game suddenly have a whole other way to use them instead of contracts. And some of these spaces on this train map are amazing spaces, huge. There are new factions, there are new clans that you can play, which I only saw one in the game we played, but it looked great. I love the idea of it.
They're incredible. The game doubles the amount of asymmetric factions that were in the game, which is like, they could have just done that, and I would still be saying it's a
Good
classic
expansion.
expansion.
Yeah, good expansion.
They could have literally just done that.
But the fact of the matter is that I played the game, and it felt like the game opened up in a way that the original, while I loved, didn't. It felt like the options that I had for the ways that I could see playing the game and playing competitively were vast now, all over again. It was like a whole new game with everything that I already loved about it. Absolutely adored it. 10 out of 10. Can't wait to play it more.
I have to say, Matt and I played it a few weeks ago.
2-player, yep.
Oh, 3-player.
Oh, 3. Right,
Matt Carlucca was with us.
Right,
Had such a fun time. I love base game, Clans of Caledonia. I've always been traditionally terrible at it. I did very, very well last time, and I mistakenly believed that I had somehow ended the curse of my bad Clans of Caledonia playing. And then when we played yesterday, I had legitimately the worst game I ever had of it, ever. Like it was so bad. I don't blame the game. It was me. It was a total bad thing, but it did suck. Because what happened was I broke my engine after the second round, and you guys were all flush with so much money because of the expansion that it also allowed you to sort of take over the map, and I really fell out of pace with everyone. And so I had like a one round where I did one action, and I had one round where I did like 2 or 3. And so, it's just one of those things where you're like, I think this is what's interesting about a con setting maybe. I mean, it probably would have had the same thing at a game night, but with a con setting, we sort of come in and there's so much back and forth emailing and texting about like, oh my god, I'm so excited, we're going to play so many games, let's play so many games, we're going to go crazy, let's do this, we're going to try this game, we're going to try that game, we're going to do this, bring your this, do that. That then when you sit there and you're like, I'm literally sitting here doing one move, waiting 30 minutes for the round to end so I can reset my income and do something else. It's sort of like deflating, and it's not the game's fault, but it actually is saying, you actually have to kind of bring your A game. Like this, you can't mess up with Clans of Caledonia because otherwise you're just sitting and watching other people play a game.
That's the other side of the Forestry coin, right? It's like you have micro actions, but if you fall out of a round and it goes for way longer because other people have more resources than you, that's brutal.
This is what I love that Euros don't do enough anymore. And Clans is one of those old school years that does it, where you can lose the game in one turn.
Yeah.
You can fall behind the curve to such an extent that your game is over. And I enjoy games without guardrails.
And let's also say there's a variable setup of the game, and the game we played the other day was particularly egregious with the amount of money that you could generate in the game, which traditionally...
But I had the same shot at that money. This is my fault. This is 100% my fault. Right. I do not blame the game. I do not blame you guys. I do not blame anything. It was purely me. I ruined my own time.
But the difference between our games and your games might have been much less obvious if there was less money that we were getting.
I don't mind if I'm going to lose on round 2, but what was hard was that I just didn't have anything to do. And so it's like, fine, I'll lose, but I'll build an engine, I'll do this or that. But I was like, I couldn't do anything. And it was... I had to be saved emotionally afterwards because I was just sort of in a funk. You guys were like, man, you can choose what goes next. I was like, I don't even know what to choose.
That's so true.
I was like,
a robot.
I was just like carved out and empty, and I was like, I don't have any motivation to play anything. I'm just a husk.
I had the same experience playing Clans of Caledonia that you had the game before this one. So I played it 3 times now, and in that game, I was so dead and lost, and I was having a miserable time. And but it's one of those games where that can happen.
Like a splatter game, it is a game that is not afraid to beat you up.
Yeah,
and I respect that. I like that. I'm not going to like that every single time, but even when I don't, I'm ready to. I may lick my wounds, but I'll be back. Right.
It was my first game of Clans. I loved it.
That's right. So Jordan had never played base Clans before.
Yeah.
So that's a great perspective. I want to hear your views on that. So you never played base Clans?
Yeah,
so
I thought Clans was kind of like
with all the
Terra Mystica
modules,
for babies.
The whole expansion.
Yeah, although it was fine to jump in.
Sure.
I would jump in that way. I mean, it's hard to imagine the game without the trains. Sort of. It seems like an important part of the game. I don't know. I like that the map is more competitive than Gaia and Terra Mystica because, everyone wants the same land. The land costs between $1 and $6. Everyone wants the $1 spots. They're better for everyone. That's interesting. I had a really good time. You guys have more perspective on it because you played a ton of the game, so I won't say too much except to say if you haven't played it before, it's worth trying. It's a great game.
Yeah. But it definitely is not Terra Mystica for babies. And I actually want to say we really shouldn't even be thinking about things as being for babies just because they're more streamlined. I think that there's just people have different desires of what they want for their, for their tastes.
I'm sorry. I feel like I really feel like a jerk now.
A clean, elegant, simple game is a wonder, and I love playing games.
I just wanted to shame Jordan.
Yeah. Well, you succeeded.
Did a great job.
You succeeded.
Have you noticed a common theme in most of your comments so far?
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, you just got canceled, Jordan.
It was miserable.
No.
I had a miserable time.
Oh, it happened so fast.
I know, it's already on Twitter.
It's pretty quick these days.
All right, Trey.
Okay, so one of the things
That's fine. That's fine.
Matt asked us to do in coming to the con was, here's a list of new games. Everybody should read and be ready to teach a game. And we kind of figured out I would do Coming of Age, the new game, or one of the new games from, what is it?
I totally missed the list of games you're supposed to know.
Well, you were busy at BravoCon, so you had other responsibilities. But this is the new game from Danny Garcia?
Yeah. Who did?
Windmill Valley.
Right?
Windmill Valley.
Barcelona.
America's favorite Euro.
Everybody loves Windmill Valley.
Anyway,
Interesting.
I think Rado said he's like his second favorite designer now.
That's not that's not the designer I thought it was. I thought it was the design. Well, keep going.
In any case, this game is essentially like the Euro version of the Game of Life.
Which is a great pitch.
Doesn't that already exist?
Great
Isn't
pitch.
it already a Euro Game of Life?
Something like that.
Yeah.
There's
I don't-
Fog of Love. There's some things.
Yeah, okay.
But in this one, it is modeling your childhood from like age 10 to 9, and every
10 to
turn-
19.
Oh,
Well, it's 9 years.
you
And
said 10
just-
to 9.
10 I'm sorry, 10 to 18. 10 to 18. It's 9 years. Excuse me. What's great about this game is your main player board, personal player board, is a human head that contains the different traits of the child. And when
Actually,
you,
a human head.
well, okay, but it has
Looks like
ears.
it has ears and has hair. When you turn it over to the other side,
The back of the head.
yellow player is
What's in the
blonde
box?
blonde
What's in
hair.
the box?
It very much, yeah. It's
Well, I think this game is incredibly cute. I do not think that this game is going to be like a competitive Euro that is incredibly
No.
well balanced or anything. I think it's a fantastic art piece in which you have these different traits that you manipulate by going to certain locations during certain years. You're either going, like early when you're young, a big location for you is school or the pizza parlor or the arcade. And then like, as you age, new locations are added.
going to rock concerts.
You can finally, when you're 18, go to a rock concert, that type of thing. And part of what you're doing is you're creating memories while you're doing it. You're doing certain things.
Bad
having
memories, good
experiences.
memories, doesn't matter.
Can
You're
you
still
do bad
getting.
things? Can you like ditch school or smoke
kind of everything
cigarettes?
Trey
is-
murdered at people.
Rather than victory points.
That's not
Trey
true.
murdered all those person for gang initiation.
Yeah, that's what he
This
did.
game gets crazy.
I was like, wow,
What a
Wow.
memory.
this game took a turn.
Wow.
Instead of victory points, these are vital experience points. That's the kind of catch of the thing. Now, why don't you take over, Tom? You played it.
I did. All right, so my
Never
favorite.
tell Tom to take over.
My absolute favorite. Look, I haven't been on the podcast virtually all year. This is
You're
my
making
time.
up for it,
This
buddy.
is my time to
You're
talk.
making up for it.
I think Ben has talked more than I have so far.
I don't think he's interrupted me a bunch of times. when
That's
I was
fair
just
enough.
finding
Tell
out.
us in the comments who's
I will say,
I
will say, what I love the most about the thing is the friendship mechanism,
Yes.
which is you are becoming friends with the other players and a bunch of NPCs, non-player characters that are in the game. And matter of fact, the game rewards you for doing that. You get little bumps and little bonuses all the way down. And some of the things you want to do in the game, you can't really do until you become really good friends with some of the other people. But it is entirely asymmetrical to other players. So my character that I was playing was best friends with Trey. I mean, he was my best bud. We just had lunch together in the cafeteria, and my piece representing how he feels about me hadn't even made it to his board yet. Like, he did not recognize that I existed.
Which is very realistic for childhood friendships. They're not
was
symmetrical.
not
They're not
mutual,
always
yeah.
completely
Your
reciprocal.
best friend is not your best friend.
right.
I was falling deeply in love with a person that barely remembered my name. It was hilarious.
Social.
Yeah.
That's a great theme. That really is, though. That's very fun. And I love that they make the other players at the table those people, because that's just going to create laughs.
Which is why, to me, the game I compare it to, totally different game in every aspect except for the play experience, is The Cost. In that it is a game that I very much admire. I admire the design. I admire the statement that it's making. When you think about the meta of what it is that you're playing, it's kind of amazing. But I didn't really love playing the game, if that makes sense.
Right.
And actually, I'm so glad you brought that up because, for real, I am. Because when we played The Cost, we played it in 2020 on TTS, and we had an interesting time playing it. And I remember feeling like it was an interesting game, but maybe like sort of fell short. And then I did get to play it in person maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, and it really came alive in person because the table talk was really fun, despite the fact that it's about asbestos, which is kind of like childhood. And
Tom's childhood, there was asbestos everywhere.
Everywhere.
But the game came alive, and I haven't played this game. I'm really interested to play Coming of Age, but I've really grown to appreciate games that, even if they're flawed, if they generate a really positive experience at the table, that matters a lot when you talk about something like Forestry, which is actually an extremely well designed and well thought out and intelligently designed and well themed game, but didn't really, in my one experience, didn't really bring the table to life. And I almost prefer a game that is maybe less perfect, but has a moment where you tell this hilarious story about how you were trying to have lunch with Trey and he just didn't want to have lunch with you.
So Trey, what did you think of the game? I'd like to hear.
Well, it's a game I really enjoyed, and
Yeah.
I think for people that listen to our podcast, everybody should play this game once,
Okay.
at least. And
Yeah.
then whether you want to play it again or not, it's a good movie to see.
Okay.
I had a really fun time. It was, even though you're like criticizing the game, the fact that this relationship existed between our characters in the game
I laughed
was
so
going
hard
on,
and so often.
was a great memory, and
Yeah, Jimmy.
so
I want to try it.
It's
great.
great.
people should absolutely.
We live in
try
an
it.
embarrassment of riches right now as far as the hobby goes. There are so many great games. Like even the games that we are like, meh. 10 years ago, we would be over the moon because there were so fewer.
Yeah. I think about that all the time. You're absolutely right. Would you say it's the Windmill Valley of life games?
I know I like this a lot better than Windmill Valley. Windmill Valley doesn't have like the theme and mechanics of Coming of Age are really smart. There's a really smart way. The world starts small for the child and then it expands and the game gets more complicated and the person develops in more complicated ways. It's not always like the most representative of like, because he was unhappy, this thing happened and it was a big influence, but it is like telling a story. So I think it's a really smart design. Do you want to play it 20 times? Probably not, but I don't think people will ever regret playing it once.
Sure.
I'm excited to try it. I hope we get to. I hope somebody buys the copy so I can try it.
Yeah.
I think your Windmill
hope
Valley and my
someone, Trey,
Windmill Valley might
finally
be very
buys the
different.
game.
That's the thing about Windmill Valley. It's very bespoke.
I've never played it.
How green is your Windmill Valley?
Matt, you want to pick a game?
Yeah, so I'm gonna bring up two games because they've delivered together, and we can talk about these as we go. So I backed Clans of Caledonia, the Industry expansion, like 2 years ago, and there was two more games that came with it that were available to be kickstarted also. One of them was Juma Alju's other game, Juma Aljuju, sorry. His the only other game I think he's designed, or at least the only one that I know of, which is Thiefdom. And so that was to me an instant back. And I was like, absolutely. I love Clans of Caledonia. Juma doing like a pick up and deliver game with a cool theme, I'm in. Like sight unseen, I didn't even read the rulebook, didn't even watch a playthrough, it's just like, another $40, yes. And then there was a third game, and I was like, it's only another $40, and it actually is like, there was like a savings if you got all three. I just clicked the button, didn't even know anything about it. I was like, whatever, just give me the whole bundle. I love this company, I want to support them. And you know what?
Karma Games, by the way.
Karma
Good
Games is owned by Juma Aljuju, or at least partially owned by him. He's one of them. I think he's the main founder of it. And this is their only 3 games. So I was like, I just love this company. I know how small they are, and I think they're great designers. I want to get in on it. So Millennia Tracks of Time is not designed by Juma. It's designed by Orestes Leontrides, Mike Georgiou, and I believe Juma Aljuju developed it at least. Maybe he was a partial designer as well. Sure. So I learned both of these before I came here because I was like, I'll bring them along. Maybe they're good. I don't know. I want to try them. And this seemed like a good time to try them. And they weren't here on the HOTS game list. I was like, that's cool. So we played Millennia for the first time. I learned it before, and while I was learning it, I was like, I'm hyped. This is cool. It's a Civ game. I instantly...
A mapless Civ game.
A mapless Civ game.
Yeah.
And I instantly give a +2 to all mapless Civ games. Even if it's a 1, it's a 3 to me. Like, I like those games. Like, Through the Ages is one of my favorite games of all time. Nations is great. What's the other one that we played recently? No, the newest
Mosaic?
one, Mosaic.
That is
It
not
has a
map.
map. I know, but it's abstracted
It's a
with cards.
minimized map for
Right.
sure.
So Millennia Tracks of Time is a card drafting tracks game. That's it. You're drafting cards, you're building a Seven Wonders-esque kind of tableau, and you are going up on tracks. The government track, the culture track, all the things you would imagine in a Civ game.
Except that your tableau dies.
Right, so you're drafting these cards that will last a variable amount of time.
From like 1 to 3 rounds out of
From
8.
1 to 3 rounds, right. And the game lasts over 8 rounds. So you want the cards that last longer, but you need specific cards in order to spend these resources on the cards to then go up the tracks. And that's genuinely all there is to the game. Like, that's it. You're buying cards, hoping to have them for a really long time, get as much juice as you can out of them to go up these tracks. And the tracks are almost like little mini games unto themselves, where those tracks have cool variable bonuses on them that sometimes link to others. The war track, you're always thematically fighting as you go up and down on it. That's the only track that goes backwards every round a certain amount. So you're fighting over that, you're drafting, but it's worker placement in the draft, where you're putting down a cube on a place in order to take the cards you want. That's really fun. The track game is fun. It was a game where I read the rules and I was like, this seems cool. And it was greater than the sum of its parts. I thoroughly enjoyed. I played a 2-player game first night with Jordan, and then I played a 4-player game I played a 3-player game the next day. And then I think a couple other games were played without me. And I thoroughly was impressed, and I think it's a super big keeper.
The board looks like just 9 tracks. It could not look more basic and utilitarian. It looks like the old Martin Wallace games that were basically made in his garage from the board. And yet the play is so engrossing. I absolutely loved it. It's an instant buy for me.
It's a really cool mechanic. I mean, so there's 14 cards every era, and there's 8 eras in the game.
Right.
And those 14 cards are in the game whether you're playing with 2 or with, does it go to 5?
2 to 4.
2 to 4.
1 to 4.
2 to 4. And you're just drafting those same 14 cards every time, but there's a little bit of richness there. Like, I don't know, it's really cool.
Yeah, so every round, like, there's the same distribution of resources.
There's
on
one
the
of
cards.
every symbol every round.
Right.
So
and you need all of them.
And you need all of them.
And you're getting
right?
like 4.
But maybe you know that this round, symbol X is going to last for 3 rounds, and next round it's going to only last for 1 round if you were to pick it up then. You know, there's like planning like that sort of thing.
And like innovation, the names on the cards over the different ages, we end up with particle physics, and we start with the
I will be
weird-
honest, when we played our 2-player game, I didn't look at the name of a single card. I was only looking at the symbols.
I didn't until the end.
It is not a super thematic thing for me, but it was very fun.
Trey, what'd you think of it?
I loved it. I was so happy. Just the gameplay itself was so enjoyable. Like every single step was enjoyable. I think it did overstay its welcome a little bit. Like it had a couple of millennia, maybe.
It's not short.
Too many.
It's a 3-hour game with 4.
It's not short, but I was having such a good time at every second, and I didn't play the game particularly well either time I played it. But it didn't matter, which I always feel like is a really good sign of like, oh, can you get beaten pretty soundly in this game and still have a very good time? And that was definitely the case with Millennia here.
To me, I mean, if you like Civ games, I think it's a sight unseen buy for me. If you're a Civ, especially if you like Through the Ages, if you like Mosaic, if you like Nations, if you really like
even say
abstracted,
innovation.
or Civolution even, like if you really like abstracted, if you like the theme of Civ games. And you also like worker placement, card drafting, and you like abstracted tracks. I don't know. It's pretty cool.
Say it may be 3 hours. I don't know if it is 3 hours. But if you know it, is it really? Okay. But I will say that the teach was fast. The teach was very fast.
Mark was laughing because it does say 30 minutes per player. That's bullshit.
I just want to say I arrived at the con late, and when I arrived, you guys were playing it. You're like, oh, we're like about halfway through. And 3 hours later, you guys finally finished.
But they were not. So there's the longest section of every round is supposed to be played simultaneously.
Right.
And they were doing it as turns.
Yeah, that's what it was.
You're supposed to all do your actions at the same time. And they were doing. And look, in a learning game, you sort of need to do that for a round or 2. Maybe not 8, but yes.
For a round or 2.
We liked narrating our turns. Look, watch
You were
this.
enjoying it. You were
and see what
enjoying
you're
it.
doing.
I would say this is
you know,
a lighter game than Through the Ages. It's a lot lighter. It's really
Yeah.
fun, but it's not a super heavy.
I wouldn't say
crunchy
it's crazy light either.
No,
right?
no, it's medium. It's like solidly medium.
It is a medium weight game with heavyweight decisions, I think.
I will say also, when I came in, I was like, oh, what are you guys playing? You guys were so happy. You guys were like, this is a good one, Ben. This is a good one.
You guys were buzzing. All right, let's move to the other game that delivered with Clans of Caledonia Industria. This is Thiefdom. Jordan, you've played it twice now. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Thiefdom?
Yeah, so in Thiefdom, you play a tribe of thieves, a group of thieves, 3 thieves. A guild of thieves, excuse me. And you are going across a medieval city, stealing things and selling them to people who want them. It is a sort of an action programming game in that there will be 6 turns and you assign the order in which you want to activate your 3 thieves and also a subset of the city's nobles and the cops.
NPCs.
The NPCs.
Yep.
But then once a thief goes, whoever your first thief was, it's Valerie. All the thieves are named, by the way, which is a great choice.
Brilliant.
It's Valerie's turn. Valerie can do whatever she wants. It's not like I had to pre-program every move for all of my thieves. Okay. And it's a very interactive game, I feel like, because
it's pick up and deliver.
It's pick up and deliver.
You are picking up by robbing.
Picking up
and
by
then
robbing.
delivering to people who can hawk it for you.
Right.
For victory points.
And there's
that's
a
the whole
finite
game.
set of stuff that can be robbed, right? Every noble, there are 4, can be robbed once. Every cop
Every other round,
every other round, right? They refresh a little bit. Every cop has 2 badges that you can rob off them.
I love that you can steal cops' badges for victory points
Right.
and you sell it back to them because they're like super embarrassed
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, just thank you so much.
Right,
I was
and
going to
they
get
carry
fired.
2 because they know that they're liable to be robbed for 1, and they might still need
We
the
were
second
playing
one.
a lot with how dumb these cops
Yeah,
were.
yeah.
They have 2 badges because they're always losing them.
Right. So the whole pick up and deliver thing works really well. It's very fun. But also controlling the cops and the nobles is really fun because you get to mess with the other players. Like, you can move
can
the
arrest
cops
people.
to arrest the
And then they
if
lose all
see
their
a
loot.
thief, they'll arrest that thief. And you have a lot of decision making to like try and make that happen. And we got 2 arrests on Matt in the first game, 1 in the second game.
Always
It's
me.
just fun. It's just like fun to do that. It feels good.
Tom, how'd you feel about it?
Tom, yeah.
I need to play it a second time because there was definitely like the score of the 2 people that played it the first time was half of what the people playing it the second time was.
Yeah. And that happened to me my first time. I had the same score as you, and the second time I had double the score.
Which tells me that there is emergent strategy that you begin to realize as you play. And really a lot of what it is recognizing what value time is, what value actions are, and what value these various objects are, and what a score can be. Once you start to get a handle of that, it reminded me the most of Tim Fowler's excellent Burgle Brothers. But Burgle Brothers is a very simple game, and this is much more of a Euro that they've turned it into, which I love. I always thought Burgle Brothers was a great concept, but it was really kind of a solve the level kind of game, really,
Right,
in
like a
large
puzzle
part.
more.
Whereas this is much more pick up and deliver. You have multiple people you're playing with. Is it something that I'm going to love forever? I don't know yet, but I enjoyed very much my first play. I think the art is fantastic, absolutely gorgeous, very thematic.
It's the same artist who did all the Garfield games, the Architects of the West
Right.
Kingdom. I always forget that artist's name, but
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's gorgeous, and I really can't wait to play it again.
Yeah,
So I bought this game after 1 play, and it's not my type of game. So I just want to say, for me, it's really great. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not objecting to calling this a pick-up deliver because it is, but that doesn't kind of do justice to what this is. The thing I love about this game, because this may be my favorite game from the con, is that it has this beautiful central map of the city, and the things you do on the map really matter. It's not a game like Fayum, where like the stuff that happens on the map is kind of incidental to the engine you're building or whatever.
I will not allow you to besmirch my fame.
Well, they were giving it away for free here at Bgg.Con, so I think the verdict is
Because they love it so much. They want everyone to experience.
That's how
you got
it
the
works.
experience.
They weren't
Ben
giving
and
out
I
a
are Team
swamp for
Fayum.
free.
I'm just saying, like, it's a shared map in which other players' actions have huge effects that's constantly changing, and you're constantly having to react. You'll have a plan, it'll get interrupted by what other people are doing. I think that's a really rich game space, and so it's both, the way that you can kind of manipulate the cops and the different pieces allows you to kind of scheme. Like
Right.
you do feel like I'm using my thieves in coordination, and then I screwed up badly,
Planning a heist.
and Jordan punished me, and I had to go to jail. not me, it was actually Matt. But but that's the way the game feels. It's like,
Yeah, it feels so
you got
good.
busted.
Yeah.
Like it's that type of game, which is why I think this game has a lot of legs.
I agree, and it's like it's also a Euro. The Euro aspect of it gives it longer legs for me too.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just punch someone in the face. It's not roll dice and move. It still feels very like you can plan a lot and plan really well, but it has a great thematic, surround.
What do you say we go around the horn one more time and we do quick little 2-3 minutes each and we'll talk about some quick little reflections, some thoughts, some games you other played. We still have some other games to talk about that we played, but we could just do one last little round the horn. Jordan, tell me about something else you played that you feel thoughts about.
I got one if you don't.
Yeah, why don't you start?
Go ahead.
Agent Avenue?
Agent Avenue, game of the con.
Agent Avenue.
No question about it. One of the most thematic, deep strategy games that you can
played it
play.
once.
Tom, this
They
is Trey's
hated it.
game.
No,
This is
I
the
love
game
it.
Trey selected.
Really?
I'm not kidding.
Oh, I thought you hated it.
No, we had the best time. It was the most fun per second of any
second.
game.
What is this?
Okay,
'Cause it was a
Trey,
1 minute
Trey
long.
and I were a team, and we played against Jordan and Mike Kananak.
It's an
and
I cut, you choose card game.
It's not actually. You don't cut.
here's what it is.
It's a you choose card game.
I'm playing this card. Trey's like, okay, I think I've
face up, one
chosen
face
my
down.
card. Jordan says, what should we choose, Mike? And Mike says, let's choose the face down one. Flip up the face down one. We get the other card, and we won.
Every time for 3 games in a row.
in like 2 or 3 rounds max.
Kind of like team-based Lady and the Tiger.
Yes.
You're trying to figure out, is the thing I'm showing you what you should take, or is the thing that's hidden should take? Because if you take this, I
Yes, a little
I
bit.
get the other thing.
There's
so
a-
am I
there's-
putting the poison? Am I hiding the poison, or am I hiding something that's really valuable? And it's framed
Maybe a
as
15 space track on a map.
not
like
even.
a race.
yeah.
It's not.
But
even.
it's 2 teams chasing
We've
each other.
bashed Agent Avenue enough. I know.
No.
You're like-
Trey generally
You
is buying
genuinely
it.
like it?
He's
Oh,
buying
okay.
copies of it to give away.
I think it's an incredibly cute, efficient design. And we played 3 games in like 10 minutes. It was awesome.
Four games
Very-
in 10
it-
minutes.
As a two-player 1v1 game, it makes sense because you know what's on both cards.
Yeah.
But as
It's
a
designed as a
4-player
two-player
game,
game. It's
it's like
designed
it
as a
doesn't
was
make
so
any
much
sense.
better.
Or did you just not get it?
Or just didn't get it. That's right. We just didn't get.
I
Honestly,
had so much
Mike
fun.
made all the choices.
Mike made that
I
game.
didn't play.
Ben, you got any impressions? You want to talk about anything? Okay. I'll jump in and talk about Wispwood.
Yeah.
Wispwood is a tile laying game designed by Reed Ambrose. It is a very light tile laying game wherein it has some fun little MacGuffins to it, that you're building a 4x4 in the first round, you're building a 5x5 in the second round, a 6x6 in the sixth round, and about 70% of the tiles that you're building these with disappear at the end of every round and give you some really fun sort of Tetris-y, polyomino puzzle building decisions to make. It's very much a solitaire endeavor where you are fighting over things in the middle, sort of like Calico Cats or whatever that game is. It's
Right.
similar to that vibe.
So you pick
Calico.
a tile and it's very Tetris-y. It's like I take this tile and I make a square of 4 tiles.
But if you like polyomino puzzles and if you like light tile laying games, I'm not a big tile laying game guy, but I enjoyed this one a lot. It's a really fun family game that I think will be a big holiday hit for people.
It was. I'm sort of like not into these kind of games anymore. I have to say, like, I don't get excited to play them, and I kind of find them. I don't know. They're just like not interesting to me. That's just not what I'm into these days. But I enjoyed this one. It was nice. I thought it was. I would never buy it because it's just not what I want. And I also know like my friends would actually like it.
Right.
And like I know
What's the game you hate now?
the Sagrada effect.
Sagrada,
I
yeah.
really love Sagrada.
I know
but it's
you
like,
love Sagrada,
these
but it's the
Sagradas
bane
and
of
these
your
Azules,
existence.
I'm just like not as much into these abstract, lay some tiles, and then after 45 minutes it's done. Because I always feel like they're not as light and fluffy as this Agent, whatever
Avenue.
and they're not as purely exuberant as a Hot Streak or a Magical Athlete. But they take up enough time that like if you're hoping to start with that and then do like a fun Euro afterwards, it kind of digs into the Euro time. So I don't know. I kind of have a negative. However, this is very important.
Okay.
This actually, I almost forgot. This is actually an incredibly important point.
yeah.
So I don't love these kind of games. I did enjoy this one. I was in my funk after Clans of Caledonia. Like I was like, I don't know. I was like, maybe I go upstairs and go to sleep. I'm gonna say this right now. I've had a rough go of it with this con. I showed up late. I didn't get to play my first game till 7 p.m. the first day. I didn't really connect with that first game. And that was like the only game I got to play. Mine was like a small little one afterwards. Actually, it was pretty cool. It was cute. Antiques Ghost Show. Check it out. So I was like, okay, day one's a bust. Okay, better luck tomorrow. The next day I had to work in the morning. We played Land and Freedom, which was really fun.
Yeah, that is really fun.
And then we played Clans of Caledonia, and I just like whiffed it. And I was like, oh my god, I'm spending so much time at this con just watching other people play games. And so I was just like, I was kind of like in the dumps. And I was like, I don't even know it. You guys were so nice. You guys were like, Ben, why don't you choose that? I was like, I don't know what to pick. You guys chose Wispwood. It totally took me out of the dumps. I came back to life. We were joking, we were laughing. So it's not my kind of game, but I will say it had the magic juju to like reverse my day.
Right,
So,
it should be in your collection for emergencies, right? To, like, okay.
For me, the one other game I would want to talk about is I have not been on the podcast a lot. Matter of fact, I think once this entire year. I've been in Bookland, and I've been speaking like in all over the world at these writers' conventions and things like that, and dealing with that new environment. So I missed out on a lot of stuff, and I finally got to play Old King's Crown. And absolutely, wow, that is a brilliant game. Such a great design.
Yeah.
The art is fantastic. It's not exactly my cup of tea generally, that style of game. But when you play something that is so well designed, you can't help but love it. And I absolutely so
that was
happy.
a really fun game. It was your first game, Brian's first game.
I had a great time,
You guys
and
played very well.
you
It was
played
really
the
fun.
hardest faction in
my opinion, so far.
Yeah.
It was really fun though. It felt very balanced. It was just a great game.
I think it was 1 point that separated
1 point
the three
separating
of us.
us. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, you guys can expect more coverage on that one from me and Matt. We're going to do the review of that in a week or two. Definitely my favorite game of the year, and so I'm glad you really liked it.
Fantastic.
The one game I'll add on to from the con, although there are lots of others that we will talk about in the future, is Children of AR. Or AR Children of the Sun.
Of the Sun.
Excuse me, of the Sun.
I was like waiting for you to bring it up. That's why when Matt threw to me, I was like, you guys keep going, because I'm like, Jordan, you have to talk about this.
Yeah. So we played this game this morning. I was really excited about it, and I think no one else was as excited as I was.
I wasn't excited
at the
at all.
start.
But I was.
I did not. I'm a Fabio Lopiano fan.
Right, it's a
and
Fabio
I did not.
Lopiano
I didn't. I had seen it play through, and I was like, I don't really want to play this, but whatever, I'll play it. I gotta play at least one hot new game.
Right. And so this is like a new Euro game. It's from Osprey Games, and it is. There are 4 mini games that you're going to be playing in, which is the sort of optimization Euro part of the game. But the real joy of the game is that there are these 4 AR. They're the chosen children of the sun. There are these 4 tracks basically that move forward, and on your turn you pick one track to move forward, and then it has a bunch of one of the 4 mini games you can play. It has a bunch of those icons behind it, and you pick one of them behind it. And you do that 5 times in the first round, and then the AR who has moved the least retires. They go home, and their track is over for the game. And these different ARs are going to score the different mini games throughout the game, and it's not symmetrical. So there's 4 mini games. They each could score up to twice over the course of the game, but if the brown AR who's scoring sailing. It retires early because nobody moved the brown AR forward, that minigame is going to have a way less value for you. So you're sort of investing both your time in the minigames, but also in the specific AR. And you may have to move like the brown AR forward to preserve sailing scoring in the future at the cost of actually doing a sailing action that will score in the future, because only certain actions are available behind them.
It
so
sounds
it's
like the game plays very differently each time then because of that.
Well, it could. There's like very little setup changes from game to game.
Sure.
Except for where the scorings are. But it could, as players invest differently, it might change the place a lot.
So if what's the other game? So Merv is one of their games.
It's a trilogy of like Merv, Sankore, and this one.
I only have played Merv. Did not like it. It's a mini game Euro.
Right.
So it's a Euro with a bunch of different mini games you can engage with. It's just not my jam, like not my thing.
Right.
And I went into
that too.
Sankore's like that too. And so is this. This is very much a mini game. But I absolutely adored this, and I'm like dying to play it again. Now, I do have some worries that it will feel a little samey, because in a lot of these mini game type of games, everybody picks sort of 2 different mini games and does it completely and ignores the other, and that can sometimes be a samey experience. Like, all right, which 2 mini games am I going to play and completely beat this game? And, hope mine are better than others. But go ahead.
I would like to speak to that.
Yes, please.
I'm going to say, so far, like, this is the game of the con for me.
Yep.
Right.
Like, I loved it. I saw the playthrough. I love this design. I saw the playthrough. I don't remember who did the playthrough, but I was like, this looks good, but it's not like really grabbing me. I'm neutral on Merv because I only played it once on TTS years ago, and again, I really think that like if you have like a meh experience on GTS, you do sort of owe these games an in-person play because they do come to life.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with this. The point is, this morning I was going to try to play the cost, actually, ironically, coincidentally, I should say. And then Jordan was like, "Well, I'm playing this game," and I was like, "I really don't want to play that one." But then I was like, you know what? I'm at this con and we have a podcast, and I did play Forestry. That's a new hot game. I was like, I should do this, and so I sat down. And I have to say, I loved this game. Like, I'm going to get this game. Like, this one,
I will too.
I think the reason, to speak to what you were saying, the reason why I jumped in is the minigames may all be the same, but I think the central thing is so interactive and will be so dynamic with players that to me it's going to hit the way Marrakesh hits for me. Marrakesh is my number one feld. That dice that draft that comes out with the cubes, I absolutely love it. I find it to be so fascinating and so dynamic, and you're all in each other's minds. And the table talk that we had this morning over this game to try to figure out which track we want to get to go forward. Jordan and I created alliances, uneasy alliances, but we had to do it. And like that was super cool. So I think that this game is way better than any run-through online may even present, because I think a lot of it happens above the table, and that's awesome.
Yeah, like, what Euro games do you play where you're, like, making deals? Like, will you move the purple AR if I move the purple AR, and we can get this AR not to retire? Like, that's such a cool thing.
Is there any non-uneasy alliance you've ever made with Jordan? I think that's the only type he allows.
That's definitely the nature of our relationship, but that's why it's so rich.
Yeah. This was such a win for me because these guys loved the game, and I was so happy.
Jordan had such clear host anxiety. When you were doing the rules, you were doing the rules so quickly in a way. I was like, oh, he just wants to get to the game because he's like, he hates this right now. He feels the pressure. He was like, okay, the last thing we have to do is just talk about the boats, and then we're in and we're ready. I was like, oh,
Ben,
he's
you
spiraling.
went to go pick up your breakfast, and Jordan had a nervous breakdown.
Did you really?
I was like, should we call it?
Jordan turns to me and goes, I'm ready to call it. I think we should be calling this right.
Yeah.
This is not going well. Ben is looking at his phone. He's clearly unhappy.
No, not
You're
looking at your
clearly
phone. I was
unhappy.
really unhappy.
No,
You also looked unhappy. Yeah.
No, the reason why is because I had ordered a breakfast sandwich. So and my Postmate was taking forever, and they were getting lost.
It wasn't anything you were doing.
It wasn't you at all.
Jordan was just freaking out.
I was like the
This
poor
is a
guy.
disaster.
I was giving all these visual clues, like I was miserable, but I was like fine.
I like when we humanize Jordan.
And then when I went upstairs,
Thank you so much. I
You were
appreciate
miserable
it.
the day before too, so maybe that's part of it.
Jordan,
honestly, I really was having a hard time with the con. I'm not gonna lie. After the first night, I seriously considered flying home. I really was. I was so unhappy that I was like, is this what the entire con is going to be like? Because I knew also the next morning I knew I had to podcast. And I was like, I don't want to be done with podcasting, and I'm going to have to wait around another 2 or 3 hours to get into a game.
Tough.
Yeah,
I was like, it was really, but I was also like, let's not have a pity party for myself. Okay, I was like, whatever. And I'm so obviously I was never gonna really do that, but like it was like it really did cross my mind. Like maybe I should just go home. I'm tired from BravoCon. Why am I doing this to myself? But I obviously I'm glad. But I will say that like on the next day I had a rough go of it, and so today playing that game was a great way to start it off because I did truly have like a super fun play. And but I could see you were smiling. And when I got back from getting that breakfast sandwich, because the Postmate got lost and I was up there for 10 minutes, I was like, they probably think I'm mad, but I'm just waiting for my Postmate. And I came downstairs and you're like, Ben, we can call it if you want. We can do something else. I was like, no, it's fine.
We had a great time. And I will also say, shout out Mark Now, who is who's a friend of a pod.
Yeah.
Tom and Trey's friend. He is such a great guy to play games with. I wish he lived in LA because he would be like top of my list of let's play this game. He's just a great presence in games.
He's so engaged. Yeah, he's great.
On that note, I've got some speaking about Mark Now.
Please, we're good.
After this game, was it IR? Yeah,
AR, yeah.
I just call it AR. I played a few rounds of gibbers with Mark and his daughter, and
me. It was fun.
Jordan was there. It's
Mark
so
is asking
fun.
if we want to play Gibberers right now.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, because we actually paused the game because I had a 3 o'clock game. But we were having so much fun with that.
It was really fun.
And then at 3 o'clock, I played a game of We All Take from the River, which is not a hot news. It is in
We've talked
2025.
about before in the podcast.
I've talked about it. Paul and I had played it previously, and we'd gotten rules wrong, and I was like really. I was sad. It's a game I've been looking forward to. It's a game about building on a river and plundering the river's resources, but you're trying to keep the river alive, but you're also pursuing your own goals. One of those things. And we played a 5-player game with Mark, and it was so fun.
Oh, I'm so
I
glad.
was so
That's good,
happy because when you're excited for a game and it falls flat. I still am not sure if it'll be for you guys, but now I'm like, before I was like, oh, they're definitely not going to like it, but now I think you guys might like it. It's a flawed game because it's first-time designer, self-published, has all the sort of pitfalls of that, but it was really fun, and the table talk was really strong and rich, and there was a lot of table talk, and there was a lot of back and forth, and we only had 2 rounds left, and I was late for this podcast because the table talk really blew up, and there was a lot of back and forth and wheeling and dealing, and I was so happy. God, I love it when a game blooms, and you're like, oh no, I made the right decision. So
I'm so glad you've had a great day today.
By the way, I'm
am.
so glad I finally had like my really good day. And
That
like the
makes me
truth
really
is,
happy.
sometimes when we play games, we are chasing such a perfect experience that we kind of feel like things are when they're not. It's like worthless and not worth our time. And why we do this? And I wasted a whole night playing it. And like, it's a good reminder that sometimes you just play the games and have fun and like get over yourself.
Absolutely. And I'm starting to really worry about Matt and Jordan, and we need to get them like actual non-filtered, actual non-filtered air.
Children of the
I
sun.
just want you guys to breathe actual outdoor air for like a couple minutes.
I'm going the other way. I'm going in, baby.
Yeah,
I'm never coming
Only
out
when
of
we
this.
arrive at Burbank tomorrow will we taste fresh air.
I think the only thing left that I really desperately want to play this weekend that I've been holding on to and clutching in my arms for like 2 weeks now, and I just want to play it, is fucking Tag Team. I love this
Tag
game.
Team.
It's fun.
It's a 2-player game. Sorry for the profanity, but I worked myself into a tizzy with that We All Take from the River commentary, and on the
Tag
heels
team
of my
tournament tonight?
quite possibly.
that's pretty fun.
I really love this game. It's not my type of game. I think
really
actually
not.
one of the big takeaways from this discussion is how many times you said, this isn't my kind of game, but I really dug it. And this is a perfect example.
Card auto battler.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard of an auto battler.
Oh, I love auto
I
battlers.
had no idea they existed. Is this going to be my new thing? I played this game. Our friend Tim brought it over. I played it with him. He's like, I want to show you this game. I really dig it. And I was like, okay, sure, we'll play it. And I was like, within like halfway through the first game, I was like, I love this game and I need to buy this game. I am obsessed with Tag Team and I'm ready to play it like for hours on end.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Let's do it.
Well, I think we've talked about pretty much everything. It's been great. Look, I mostly am just like having the greatest time just hanging out with my friends for 5 days in a hotel in Dallas playing board games. Like that's
Pretty sick.
This is the first vacation I've taken in 8 years
Yikes.
without my family. And it's been epic and great. Literally the last vacation I took without my family was with you two to Essen, Germany for Essen in 2017, which is crazy.
Insane.
But that was the last time I went out on my own. That wasn't a work trip. And it's been absolutely wonderful. And it's just been great hanging out with you guys. And that's what this podcast is about.
Samesies.
Board
Yeah,
games and friends.
it's been great. It's been really fun.
I am almost always on vacation, and this is still my favorite trip of the year.
Hell yeah. Amazing.
That was really nice of you, Tom.
Tom, yeah, that was really sweet.
That was really nice. Thank you.
right, well-
I hope this vacation is
Tom, we'll
as
see
good
you
as
next
those.
year for the next Game Brain podcast.
I'm not actually on vacation. I just travel places to speak now.
All right, guys. This is the end of the podcast. Thanks so much. Check out some of these games. Let us know what you think. And we'll be back in at least 2 weeks with another podcast.
Yeah, check out our Instagram and Discord where we'll be talking about these games, and Ben's Table Scraps.
Table Scraps, of course, guys. Check it out on YouTube. Almost gonna hit. Maybe we hit 1,000 subscribers.
Right.
Yeah, subscribe, comment, like, engage.
And if you've played any of these games, let us know what you think in the comments. And we will see you next time. Bye-bye.